Continuing our coverage and updates on Nile TV International. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I have the pleasure to be with you until 6 p.m. Actually, we're covering Egypt's stance and the role played by Egypt supporting the Palestinian question. Actually, also Egypt sending the humanitarian aid, which did not stop for years, to the Palestinian side. Egypt's 11th aid convoy to Gaza have entered the Rafah border crossing on Sunday. The convoy have entered the enclave in order to provide food, emergency aid, and also medicine to the Palestinians suffering. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Hassan Wagieh, Professor of International Relations and the political analyst. Good afternoon, Dr. Wagieh.
Good afternoon to you.
Well, Dr. Wagieh, actually many things have happened today concerning the Palestinian question. First, the convoy of the humanitarian aid and medicine have entered into Gaza Strip. The second thing, Dr. Wagieh, is that the Arab League have held an extraordinary session that kicked off today with that is chaired by Jordan in order to discuss the Palestinian question. What's your comment on these news?
Yes, actually, Egypt has been exerted a great deal of effort to get the humanitarian aid repeated to the Palestinians starving there. Egypt condemned this genocide war and this war of aggression of the Palestinians and remain-oriented action. And I think that the Arab League is reiterating the same situation Egypt is calling for since the beginning of this crisis. And I think it is very good that the Arabs try to continue gathering together to have a unified voice and to call on the international community to intervene, because this is what is happening there is a terrible thing in the history of humanity at large.
Yes. Dr. Wagieh, the Arab League extraordinary session have kicked today and started. The session was called by Palestine after the Israeli side have announced that they are going to reoccupy the Gaza Strip.
Yes, we are witnessing one-way track mentality by the Israelis. And I would describe it very objectively as a self-defeating strategy, because it does not help anyone to cooperate for having an area which can live and co-live in peace together. And I think that if Egypt is trying to de-escalate and the Arab countries are trying to de-escalate the situation, but if the Israelis insisted on this one-track mentality, the whole thing could go out of proportion. And I think this is a very irrational step, especially they have already done what they wanted to do in Gaza in terms of unfortunate destruction, unfortunate dealing with the situation. So adding more operations in that direction could threaten to endanger the entire situation in the area, and could go out of proportion.
Yes.
And this is why the Arab League and Egypt, alongside with the mediator and alongside with the voice of the fair-minded in the international community, should intervene now and now only.
Dr. Wagieh, how do you see the timing of the announcement by or the decision by the Israeli side to reoccupy Gaza Strip after the French President Emmanuel Macron said that France is going to recognize, or the recognition of the Palestinian state by September, in addition to other European countries also?
I think that the obstinate Israeli decision would get Israel, and even the United States, if the United States did not move in the right direction, they put both of them in a very isolation situation. They will be isolated, and the entire world, when it's not only France that in the General Assembly in September would convene, it's not only France that would claim recognition for a Palestinian state, but also Britain, but also Germany, but also many other countries. And in reality, you know, much of the number of the states in the General Assembly has recognized the state of Israel a long time ago. But
Yes.
this will be another way to put far more pressure on the Israelis to stop what they are doing in terms of irrational, fight-oriented only, one-way track mentality that is not that would never serve anyone's interest, and first of all, Israel itself.
Yes, Dr. Wagieh, in the time that the whole world and Egypt is negotiating in order to put an end to the suffering of the Palestinians and the malnutrition and the famine and the starvation war they are suffering from, and the aggression and the genocide, every country is trying its best, especially Egypt, Qatar, as mediators. At that time, we find that the Israeli decision is to occupy the Gaza Strip. So Egypt is trying to solve the problem and find a solution for a ceasefire. At the same time, Israel is worsening the situation, and the situation is deteriorating. Do you think that this last announcement by the Israeli side make all the parties to quickly move and solve the problem, whether the Arab League, the Arab Islamic Organization, the United Nations? Do you see that everyone is now moving very quickly, or we are in the same stance?
Actually, you know, the pressure will go on against these irrational acts of the Israelis and the decision made by them, which is not good enough for them or for the entire area. And I think that the problem is that it is a personalized agenda of Netanyahu, and I think that also the problem lies with the United States. We need the United States, and we have strategic relations with the United States. President Trump himself recognized that there is a famine and there is starvation war, but he didn't move in the right direction we expected from him. We expected from the United States and from President Donald Trump to move to achieve peace in this area. And I think he has the keys, and he can put pressure on Israel. He could play the mediator, the unbiased mediator, like what Pete Carter said.
Yes.
And I don't think that peace is just one stance or one era. The peace is accumulation. So for them, when we hear that they wanted to cancel Camp David Accords and substitute it with Abraham treaties and leaving the Israelis to make this kind of chaos in the area, I don't think this is a lucky and a good idea or the good expected stance from a superpower like the United States. The United States should take another important burden on its shoulders. It should keep the Camp David and protect it from being collapsed and getting into the right direction, remembering how Carter advised the current administration, by the way. He died, but he said that to Trump and he said that to other previous leaderships, like you have to do something along the lines he established in the fair-minded and unbiased mediator who really could be in the right direction for peace in the area and for the world, for the entire world.
Yes.
I hope they would reconsider their stances.
Dr. Wagieh, to what extent, what do we expect from the extraordinary meeting today with from the Arab League? Would it be a turning point that is going to push forward with a solution for the Palestinian question?
I think that the more the developments will go on, the more there will be some reaction. And I hope that the reaction will be in the right direction, not on a wrongful track, especially if the Israelis continue their plan for pressuring the Palestinians next to our borders and they try to enforce this transfer, which Egypt firmly stood against. The president stood firm against it. The diplomatic corps in Egypt stood firm against it. And I hope there will be a way out from this crisis.
Yes, Dr. Wagieh, what are the measures that the Arab League should propose or in order to address the suffering of the Palestinians and the malnutrition and the starvation of the war of starvation from Israel? What are the measures that should be taken?
I think the measure should be discussed closely by the leaders of the Arab League and try to come up with something very clear to the Arab public who expect them to do something much more of a decisive nature so as to react to the Israeli aggression. And I am not supposed to say what measures, because the measures are to be taken by the people who really govern, and those people must come up with an agenda that is really satisfies the Arab world and to the fair-minded people all over the world. I expect to listen to what they could come up with.
Yes, Dr. Wagieh, after thousands and thousands have been martyred in Palestine, in Gaza Strip, and even in the West Bank, and by the decision of Israel to extend or to reoccupy the Gaza Strip, what are the scenarios that we expect? Where are the Palestinians are going to go? How are they going to be displaced or deported?
You mentioned something about how they would be displaced. No, they should not. We should not raise the question of how. We should raise the question of how could we prevent that from happening.
Yes.
And I think that what's happening in Gaza is something, but what is very dangerous also happening is in the West Bank. And I think that there should be some harsher decision to be taken by the Arab League.
Yes. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Thank you so much, Dr. Hassan Wagieh, Professor of International Relations and a political analyst. A short break, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be back with you.